All right, I'm here with Pree Poonati of the Art of Nirvana. Pree, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Dan?
Amazing. And this is an interesting one today because it says here you're a health coach. We're here to learn more about you, but could you tell us what is that, and how is the Art of Nirvana a health coaching service? What is this?
Sure, absolutely. And actually, I don't label myself as a health coach anymore. I actually positioned or transitioned, as I would like to say, into a stress and anxiety coach. And I've been in the industry for about 6 to 7 years. At first, I started off just being a personal trainer, a yoga teacher, a meditation teacher, and a nutritionist. And then I realized that my passion is more for coaching and helping people develop healthy habits. So it was kind of like a natural transition to kind of help people just with the physical aspect. But now I shifted more into the mental aspect, which I'm really passionate about.
Yeah, and I could tell you that there's, as far as what I see at the lay of the land, there is absolutely no shortage of stress and anxiety. So, people like you are definitely necessary. So you said that your focus is, it's I guess more on the mental health side of things, and your methods include things like yoga and meditation. Could you tell us more a bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of it. It's complicated, but I'm trying to simplify it, but I'll do the best I can here. So basically, what I do is I have a one-on-one consultation with people and I understand where they feel stuck, anxious, just like where they can't move forward. And then based off of that, we'll kind of talk back and forth to be like, okay, if we could change one thing right now, like what would that be and what would that look like? And then I'll have them like journal about it and really understand like what their triggers are. And based off those triggers, what those behaviors are. And based off what those behaviors are, what those habits are. And then I want to interrupt that pattern and just basically is like, okay, we know that when you get triggered, this is your behavior and this is your habit. But we want to establish maybe a more healthful, a more healthy behavior and a more healthy, a more healthy habit. So we're going to slowly work on interrupting those bad habits and injecting them with new behaviors and new habits.
Yeah,
Does that make sense, Dan?
it does. It does. And I was just thinking about like how that might look to some folks, because I mean we're all coming from different places, and we have different
Right.
experiences, and you got to approach that. I guess if somebody's dealing with like stress and anxiety, you got to be at varying degrees of sensitivity there. You don't want to kind of hit them with a sledgehammer and say, okay, this is your lifestyle change. It sounds like what you're doing is easing them into the water, easing them into the good habits and better practices. So I think that we're probably turning a lot of people on because the uh, having a paradigm shift, and the way you conduct yourself and the way you interact with the world. Sometimes you need to be eased in. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I will be the first one to admit I have like all or nothing perfectionist syndrome, black or white syndrome,
mhm.
and it fails every time. So, one thing I've learned through personal experience and other people that I've been talking to is it's like, okay, let's create that one habit. And once that becomes a habit, then we'll add another habit and then another habit. And for some people, that might be 3 months, they can get 4 habits. For other people, it might take a year for them to develop 3 habits. But what I try to teach people is listen, there's no expectation, there's no timeline. It's just when it happens naturally and it occurs naturally, that's great because you're going to build up habits in different areas faster than other people. And other people might build habits faster in other areas where you might not be as good at or as comfortable with. But it's okay, each person has their own slate, each person has their own timeline, and it's just about what happens naturally, and we just evolve from there. So thank you so much for actually mentioning that, because that's a huge thing that I want people to know.
awesome. Yeah, my pleasure, man. All right. So let's cover some of these mandatory bases here. So how long have you been doing this?
About 6 to 7 years.
Okay, 7 years. Awesome, awesome. And it seems like you're really enjoying it. And that's actually
I
pretty refreshing because, if you're gonna be coaching people, giving them advice, you got to kind of walk the path, you know.
Absolutely.
Practice what you preach there.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fulfilling, and I'm so like thankful that I actually found my passion and my calling, compared to not. So
Yeah, man. And I've seen a few people who've done it in life, and you definitely have the glow. And so
thanks.
I recognize it, man. It's real. So in these 7 years you've been doing this, is there any customer service stories, without naming anybody in particular, but is there a story that you'd like to share with the rest of us, somebody that you've been able to change and, um, I guess, get them into better habits? And what's your favorite customer service story?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's actually quite a few. I've gotten people to get off coffee when they were addicted to coffee.
Okay.
I've had people leave their corporate job to become an entrepreneur because they found out what their calling is, what their passion is. And I've had people just develop more self-respect toward themselves and just more confidence in terms of, being the best person that they can be, and just like getting out of their negative behaviors and just kind of interrupting that pattern flow, like I
Yeah.
said. So without naming any names, because I want to keep it confidential.
Of course, of course. And I imagine that if anybody comes to you, at that point they've actually made a decision, that they're ready for a change in life, and that must help things move along. It's like me whenever I'm trying to lose weight, right? I mean, there's been times I've been very successful, right? And then you go off the rails there and get fat again. I happen to be on a decline right now. Not that this has anything to do with me here,
Right.
but I will say that is when it comes to those moments in life where you're just like, man, this is bad, dude. I need to make a change, and who's gonna help me? It's good to know that we got somebody like you that we could turn to.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you.
yeah, man. And so we got to cover some more bases here. COVID. All right, it seemed like we were getting out of there for a while, and that we're in the clear. We got these vaccines, but now we are dealing with this new variant, and there's a lot of confusion in the air. So it looks like we might have to start hunkering down again. Um, so since early 2020, how has COVID-19 affected your business?
I'm going to be straight up with you. Most people might not like this, but COVID has completely changed my life for the better. Like,
Mm,
it was exactly what I needed to stop being a monkey and doing everything and chasing everything. And I just kind of hunkered down. And I actually came up with Nirvana University. And Nirvana University right now is offering a course series called Achieving Everlasting Fulfillment. It's a 3-part series. And the first one I'm teaching right now is called Creating Unshakable Confidence. The second course is called Being an Unconditional Peace, being an unconditional peace, not unconditionable peace.
okay.
And then the third one is actually the title of the series, Achieving Everlasting Fulfillment. So COVID has actually brought more clarity to me, has allowed me to fine tune exactly what I wanted to teach and how to teach it. So like I said, people aren't going to like it, but I'm super thankful for COVID for allowing me to kind of step away from the rat race and
Yeah.
step into my calling.
Good for you, man. Good for you. And
Thank
so
you.
you had mentioned this online. Is it an online course?
Yes, it's an online course that has an additional coaching feature if you feel like you need it, but it's a self-paced course. You can go at your own pace. You have lifetime access to it. So it's not like you lose it after
Subscription.
3 months or something like that.
Yeah.
And you'll have access to a Facebook group, office hours, and all of that stuff. Whatever medium I can provide you to help you get to where you want to get to, I want to be able to provide that for you.
All right. Awesome. Well, Pree, so at this point, I'm sorry, but I got to let you go. But before I do, tell us one more time who you are, what you do, and also how do we access that course? Where do we get that?
Sure. Once again, Pree Poonati from The Art of Nirvana. And the best way to reach me is just by emailing me info@theartofnirvana.com. And I will go ahead and send you all that information from there. And I'll send you the forms to make sure that we're a good fit for each other. And, it works out well, because I definitely want to put you in a position to succeed. And if I can't do that, which is okay, then I want to make sure that I can direct you to somebody or somewhere that can.
Right on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Pree Poonati of the Art of Nirvana. It's been great talking with you. You have such an interesting product, and we look forward to seeing you at the meetings. All right.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I appreciate your time.
All right.